Hi, welcome to the Healing Hearth. My name is Elizabeth. This here is Gomez, and we are your resident healers. I didn't want to do a reading today. I wanted to originally, but then I changed my mind. I didn't feel like it. Um, Instead, I wanted to try something out. I wanted to try something a little bit more intimate out. Uh, this is a segment I would like to call Hearth to Heart Talk. This is going to be kind of this is a safe space where I'm going to put my own personal musings, things that I've been mulling over and churning around in my mind and sharing them with you guys. These things are a little bit more personal, a little bit more raw for me. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of avoiding this part of the business of the business. When I created Healing Hearth, I imagined uh, this space mostly online where different healing takes place, and healing takes place on so many. Gomez, you are stealing the show per usual. But healing happens on so many levels, right? So as a healer, I get different modalities of healing under my under my belt, such as I hope to offer Reiki as a service. I hope to offer crystalline healing uh, sessions on my business. And I also hope to I do have intuitive readings that are open where we connect on a one-to-one level and we talk. And there are so many different forms of of healing that take place. Healing can be found in laughter, at laughing at your seventh take of this video, because Gomez doesn't get the hint. Uh, it can be healing through just listening. Listening is such a gentle way to heal each other, just to hold space with one another for someone to feel heard. And that's sometimes the greatest medicine you could possibly help someone with. And, I'm hoping that this space, like with just saying my musings of things that I've been thinking about that affect my life personally, I hope that someone finds something that resonates with them uh, in what I say. Because, I do channel. I do have some divine knowledge being streamed up in here. So, my intention for this talk was to talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability in the sense of showing up as our authentic selves and how that can sometimes feel a little raw and a little vulnerable, especially in a society where we're all sort of molded into certain archetypes, right? We live in a world that's very black and white that's trying to switch over to Technicolor. What does that mean? It means that right now there's a lot of fighting about what's right and what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, and there's valid sides to all arguments. But the truth is, we are all multidimensional. All of us have contradictions about ourselves. I love being social with people, but I also just love my alone time. Those are two totally different sides of my personality. I might love to be with people, but be really quiet in a crowd of more than five, but really, really engaged in groups of two, three, because these are the contradictions in my personality. Everyone has contradictions in their personality. And why can't society have contradictions within itself? You know? And so when I talk about vulnerability, it's really talking about coming to peace with the pieces of your personality that might come to odds, right? Like you might really, really, you might be a pacifist, you might be a Buddhist, but also take a self-defense class. And there's like a weird controversy about that. So you might not share with your Buddhist friends about how you're still taking self-defense. There might be like a shame, a way of showing, feeling you have to show up a certain way because that's the way people expect you to. And there's a certain aspect about vulnerability that I'm currently experiencing, which is we're all so multifaceted. We're all so unique and we have so many different things to show the world, to present the world as who we are. And I think that sometimes we have a hard time fitting ourselves into a box of how we want to present ourselves. So a lot of times, I know I shut myself down a lot. Um, I struggle sometimes because I can be very honest, and I feel that when I was growing up, I could feel that push certain people away. And that's a very much a part of my life that I'm now integrating and making peace with, because the part of me that tells the truth, the unbridled truth as it is actually really valuable and really helpful. Uh, and to the people who matter, the people who deeply vibe with me in my heart, who are my soul family, they appreciate me for it. I don't have to be afraid of showing all parts of myself. And that includes my spirituality, that includes this practice, that includes this channel, this business, this whole new chapter that I'm really excited to step into. But god damn it, is it scary? And is it vulnerable? Holy cow, you know? And I've had a time. I've had a time justifying that to myself. I've had a time struggling to understand me and my own contradictions, you know? I mean, I'm a professionally trained engineer and I love spiritual work. I love healing, you know? Those are two totally different sides of my brain even, right? The left side brain logistics and the right side empathetic. And it took me a really long time. It took me years to finally feel semi-comfortable in my right emotional brain, to embrace my gifts, to embrace who I am, that I can be two at once without having to pick a side. It doesn't have to be black and white for me. It can be the whole freaking rainbow. And I think that that can cause a lot of fear, and it can cause a lot of, for me, escapism. You know, sometimes I have so much going on in my head that it's easier, you know, you just pray for 5 minutes of quiet, thoughtless time, you know? And those are the times that I don't really appreciate myself and I don't appreciate my inner guidance, my spiritual team guidance. Those are times that I just want to shrink away and fit in, but that's not who I am. That's not who I am. I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to be unique. I'm meant to stand out. I'm meant to embrace my unique weirdness. And I'm meant to love myself for it and to be loved for that. It's not to be ashamed of or hidden away or to even pretend like I understand all parts of myself. I really don't. You know, I can be confusing. Trust me, I know. I live in here. I live in this head. You know, and the part of this work that's really vulnerable and really open is showing the side of myself that I really haven't shown to many people. And here I am on the internet saying it to strangers and people I know and love, of course. But I think it's important when we have moments of vulnerability to remember to check in with ourselves. I have to remind myself to come back to myself. I have to remember to love myself like I would love someone external from me. And I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that way, in that sometimes it's easier to take care of someone else instead of feeling the pain yourself, to feel confused and lost and without direction, to kind of feel like you're drifting along and you don't really know what path, to feel like you have to plan, but know that there's no way you could possibly plan this because it's unlike anything you've ever done or experienced before. And that's when we turn to the external, right? We turn outward of ourselves and we start observing people around us. We observe our families, we observe our friends, we observe celebrities, we observe people on YouTube who are just also trying to figure it out, but might be pretending or like feeling they need to keep up with this facade that they know everything, that they know all the rules, that they want to be, that they want to feel like the authority, so they act before they actually are. And I think that offers us hope because sometimes, especially if our intuition, our inner voice, our higher self, our soul, if we're not as tuned into that on a daily basis, it can be kind of scary because you don't know what you're going to hear. You don't know if you're going to hear it's like you're almost afraid of finding out that you've made mistakes. But and that's the fallacy, right? And that's the illusion of looking external instead of looking internal. There's no mistakes that we can make. Every path we take is with intention, hopefully, right? I followed engineering for stability in income, and because I'm smart and I can do it, and I knew I could do it well. I don't regret it. It's given me so much security, so many opportunities, taken me to places where I've met really remarkable, true blue friends that feel like family. It's taken some people in and out of my life so quickly that have taught me so many valuable lessons that have made me grow as a person and as a professional. It's given me Gomez. There's no mistakes. There's only paths you can take. And whatever path you take, you are divinely supported. And if you don't feel the support, if you can't, if you're not as in tune and in touch with your inner self as you wish you could be, reach out for help. Therapy has honestly been one of the most life-changing experiences of my life, and I recommend everyone and their mother go to therapy. I swear to God. I swear to God, I've had so much growth from that. I've learned so much about myself and about how the human mind works and how trauma works, how PTSD works, all those heavier things that are kind of things that you keep at an arm's length distance because it's almost more comfortable that way if you don't feel it yourself. Therapy has taught me that tears do stop and that the only way to cope with feelings is to feel them. And the feelings I have right now are, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't know where this new chapter is taking me. I don't know if this video is really going to touch people's souls the way I hope, but I hope so. And that's my intention, that it reaches people who it needs. I think that sometimes we just need to be our own best friends, especially in times that feel the most vulnerable and that feel the most raw. When we see parts of ourselves we don't like or we've been conditioned not to like, or, parts of us that society deems as bad or like is not necessarily what everyone else in your family is like or what other friends are like. I think that above all else, we need to be our own friend, our own mother, our own father, our own life coach in those moments, and to just lovingly accept ourselves as we are. And that involves seeing the whole part of us. the whole parts of us. The moon is when, this is the image that's coming to my mind. The moon, right? Imagine the moon. There's a light side and the dark side, but it's the same moon. It's the same shape. It's the same 3D celestial orbit. There's no such thing as a shadow side. Shadows only come with perspective. And if we can open our minds and open our hearts to our own selves and to each other, I really think that vulnerability can help heal. To love ourselves in our most raw moments, in our most open moments, in our most vulnerable moments is the most divine and great superpower we could ever have. Trying out my sound bowl. I put some water and rose petals in here, and I hope the healing sounds transmit the love and appreciation I feel for you all, the love and appreciation I feel for myself. I'm so, so grateful to be where I am, to be as I am, to be growing at the rate that I am. I'm grateful for all of you for showing up for yourselves. It's really hard, but it's worth it. Be open, be vulnerable. And if you don't have enough love to spare for you, I have the love to spare for you. Our innate being is love. So love where you're at, love your journey, love your vulnerability, love your rawness. Sending you all sorts of love. Did I say that enough? Love and heart chakra vibes. Gomez and I both are. And thanks for connecting with me. Have a great evening. Bye.